Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Alana and today we're going to be talking about my 2024 bullet journals and flipping through those. We start off with this journal that we ended off our last video in. It is the Pink Flamingo leather journal from Zitco. My mother bought it for me as a gift. So get yourself a drink or a snack and settle in. It's going to be rather chit-chatty. So about halfway through this journal is when we start our 2024 pages. And this is a rainbow paisley theme with little gnomes. I decided a couple years, I think the year before this, so 2023, I was going to do my favorite theme of the year as my yearly theme. So the favorite theme of the year previous. And my favorite theme for 2023 was this paisley theme. I think it might be in this one. No, it's not in this one. I can't show you it. But it was this really fun paisley theme, and I just loved how it turned out. And for 2024, I wanted to do a rainbow for the whole year. So each month would be a different color base, going through the colors of the rainbow. So I decided to do a yearly theme of rainbow paisleys, and I decided to put these little gnomes in every one, as well as just kind of another element to tie through the entire year. If you hear me sipping, I've got a hot chocolate here. That's not really hot anymore. I've been working for a little bit, but it's warm still. So we have got our cover page here. So it says hello 2024 and goodbye 2023. And then we have my future log. I did a 4-box style future log. So we start with January, February, March, April. And it continues on until the end. And then we have our first level 10 life. We've got a little design here. And my sections for my level 10 life. And if you don't know what a level 10 life is, I believe Jashi Corinne talks about it. Erin, what is her channel name? I cannot remember her channel name. But if you look up level 10 life, you'll find a bunch of videos about it. But I have different sections and you rate them 1 to 10. I've got my health, mental health, home, romance, family, social, finance, work, spiritual, learning, and book. And then we have challenges I wanted to try for the year. As you can see, not many ended up actually happening. Weight loss tracker, which I didn't like this kind. We have a books read. This was not a big book reading year for me, and that's okay. We've got movies. As you can see, it was a big movie year. We've got TV shows. My gift list spread. My 101 things list. Obviously, it's pretty easy to know what this is. It's 101 things that you want to do. And I just kind of crossed them off as I did things. And then we move into our first monthly. So for this monthly, this is a theme that I had done previously in a different color scheme, and I had done it differently. And honestly, I do kind of like this one better, and I wish it was one that I tried to do again without these gnomes, because I think this looks great. But then the gnomes kind of make it look a little bit silly, but it still looks good. So I've got a little red Chinese lantern theme for the month of January. And we've got a box calendar here. Then we have my social media page, and we've got a start and end. And then all of the things I was planning to do. My menu, so I had my first meal, was not always breakfast. A snack and second meal, and then dessert. Then we have my health. So this was mostly my physical therapy, my workouts, and then meditation. And then this part is for my headaches and PCOS symptoms. So for the headaches, yes or no, did I have a headache, the length of my headache, and the severity, rating 1 to 10. And then my PCOS symptoms. And then we have zone goals, my habits, my budget spread, which I'm no longer doing budget spreads. January is my birthday. So we had my birthday journaling page. And then we have the weeklies. We did this vertical style weekly. I can never remember if it's which word it is. But this vertical style weekly with a little bit of design up in the corner. And we had our meals here, my top priority, and then my mood tracker. I was checking in 3 times a day. And then we have each of the weeklies, the dailies here. And then we split each week with a little header bar that said week number whatever, and then the days that spanned the week. And then another little design section. So then we had a different kind of configuration. I put the little mood, menu, and top priority board down here, and then started with the weeklies and just continued that for the rest of the month. And as you can see, some days did not get used, and that is okay. And then we have our monthly reflection space. And then we have more stuff for my birthday. So this was a planning for my birthday stuff. And then my son's birthday is in the beginning of February. And so I had a planning page for that as well. Then we had the space that had, no longer does, but had the letter to myself in it. And then I have washi tapes. I got a bunch of washi tapes for this Christmas, and I wanted to kind of swatch them out. And so that's what I did. I really like that one. I need to use it more. And so I have 2 pages of that. Then we have a Twitch schedule page. So it just has my schedule for the entire year of what my plan was for Twitch. And then a page for Silas's well child check. He used to be so small. And that is the end of this Zitgo journal. And then we move into this black dot grid journal. And I have a little dog sticker on it. It says Bujo number 6. And this is a Pelto. This was also a gift. And this goes from February to June. And I've just realized I need to get another book out because I forgot to grab that one. And the next one is the one I'm the most excited about anyway. This was also a gift. I believe this was a gift from my grandmother. So I made myself an index here. And I color coordinated it again, as you can see, based on the month. We had a Christmas card that I got from my mother, and she put glitter in it. Inside of a bag, so it wouldn't make my house a mess. Then we have an All About Me for 2024 here, which is something that I've continued doing. We moved the future log from this book into this book. And then we have my first attempt at 1,000 hours outside, and I would color coordinate the day for how long I spent outside, and then I would calculate it at the end. And for this year, I spent 107 hours and 1 minute outside. I am going to be trying this challenge again, but the weather has been so nasty, and with a newborn, she's going to be 5 months old on Tuesday, and then my 4-year-old, just trying to get them all outside is very difficult, and a lot of the time I am by myself with the kids, so where it's so cold I don't want to bring the baby outside, and so we have not been getting outside yet. We have got a birthday invite for my son's 2nd birthday. We have my first address book, which needs to be updated because people have moved. And then some more swatching of my Touch Yoch markers that my husband had got me that year for Christmas. Then we have February, and I honestly don't like February. I liked the idea of it. I don't like the execution. But February was orange, and I was trying to think of something orange to do besides actual oranges. So I decided to do frogs. I don't know why. I've never tried to draw a frog before in my life. So I did these kind of cartoony-esque frogs, and they look ugly. I hate it. But yeah, frog. And there's supposed to be like a gnome riding on this frog's back here. But obviously you can only see his feet and his hands and the stuff blowing. And then the letters I liked, but I didn't like that it was not even. I should have done the F-E-B-R and then the U-A-R-Y on the bottom. Then we had the big calendar. I love the big calendar. I think I'm going to have to do more of the big calendar this year. I like this frog better than the one on the cover. He's still not that great, but I like him better. But then we had the big calendar, and I liked that I colored things off in colors, and I need to do more of the big calendar. Then we had our posting stuff. We have got our food log. And then I did a little Dutch door here so that I wouldn't have to write the dates again. And I continued on the letters here. So this was posting, and this is for my reading challenge. So I continued on the letter here. So it's a P on this side, but it's an R on this side. I thought that was really cool. As you can see, I didn't do well. I have like a big old chunk in the middle here where it was 0 pages. And then my health tracker. So I've got my headache. That's all the same. And then my PCOS symptoms. We have my zone goals and my habits. This frog, I think, is probably my favorite out of all the frogs in this thing. Then we have a Silas's birthday journaling little bit. Then back to a tried and true for me, the classic 8-box weekly. As you can see, that day did not get used. Didn't get used, that's okay. And I like doing the big letter at the front for the headings. I'm gonna have to do more of that as well. I do like, in general, how the colors came out for this one, because I'm not an orange fan and I don't have a lot of orange supplies. So I do like that I've got like a darker one and then a lighter one. So I like that. And then I had to move my reflection bit over to here. Then we have a reading tracker. Wanted to get back into reading, and so I just went up to the end of December, and I would just color coordinate how many pages I read, which I do want to do that again, but I'm not sure. And then I would put like a dot for when I started a book and then an X for when I finished it. Then we have our debt payback page here. I have a period tracker because I started getting my periods back after I had my son. It was very kind of sporadic, as you can tell. And then we have my crochet projects. Then we have March. March is a theme that I would like to do again. It is like a bees and honey theme. I would like to do more with like honeycomb and stuff next time I do this. But I had a lot of fun with like specifically like the honey drips. And we went back to the 1-page calendar. Then we had a posting schedule, my menu and food log. So this was the dinner plan, and then breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Then we had my health tracker. And again, it's headache and PCOS symptoms. My reading challenge, I wanted to try again. This time you can see I did better, but I still didn't do great for pages read and then how much time I read each day. Then we had my sleep, mood, and squat tracker. So I was doing a squat challenge for this month. As you can see, I kept having to restart it. and that's okay. It happens. And then we had our sleep tracker here. And so for 0 to 4 hours, would be in yellow, and then 5 to 8 hours would be in black. That way I could better point out like when I had bad days. And then my mood tracker, checking in 3 times a day. We have got my habits and zone space. So habits and zones. Then we tried again to do like a time schedule situation. It didn't quite work. It worked better than my first attempt at doing a timetable thing. As you can see, I wrote a little reflection here. I don't like how small these boxes are because I feel like there's just not enough space. And then you just did the same thing for the whole month here. As you can see, some days didn't get used. This one, I still hate these weeklies. But again, the little honey sections were my favorite part in this one. So I definitely want to do like a honey and honeycomb with little bees at some point. Then we have my reflection, and my like overall reflection for this theme was like, I love everything about this month's theme, but I hate the weeklies. And as you can see, I didn't like them. Then we had another well child check for my son. As you can see, my son got into my bullet journal and helped. See, very lovely green picture. We have a page for themes here. So planning out some other themes. And this went all the way up into September. Then we had a card that my husband got at work for when we had our son. And I finally taped it into a journal. I had a bunch of stuff that I needed to tape in, and just slowly making my way, as you can see from the Christmas card up here, and then this over here. And but then for April, I did this dragon theme, and I did the lettering and these little smoky bits with a stencil that I got with the Zitco notebook, and I love it. I love the little smoky bits. The dragons, I wanted to do a more Eastern style dragon, not the 4-legged dragon, but like more of the 2-legged dragons. And I love the idea of this. Don't really love the execution. I mean, I'm okay with the execution, but it's just not great. Like, some of them look better than others. Like, this one looks better than the one on the cover, so I'm kind of sad that this is the one on the cover page, but it still looks okay. And then we had this calendar, and I just love those little squirrely details in between each of the day boxes there. It just makes me so happy. But then again, the big the big box calendar, there's a lot of green, because obviously you can tell green is the color. So we had our posting schedule page, just a little head of a dragon right there. And then my rate my day. So I had my sleep, and then my mood, my productivity for the day, and then a little gratitude log. Then we had my food log. So what we were planning for dinner, and then breakfast, lunch, dinner. And then my challenge for the month, I was starting the 75 soft. That did not go well. I was having a lot of back pain. And I dislocated my knee, and and I was sick. I had a lot of trouble this first attempt. My health tracker, I had my PCOS symptoms, my headaches, length and severity again, my walk to 5K. I was trying to do that challenge. I overall did pretty good. I had only 2 days that I didn't do it, so I was pretty happy with that. Doing my back physical therapy and doing my pelvic floor physical therapy. And again, I was trying the squat challenge, and I managed to complete it. And I am so proud of myself for that. I want to do it again this year. Now that I'm trying to get back into working out a little bit more, especially now that I've had my daughter. And now that we're about 5 months out, I am trying to be a little bit careful because I do know that when I had my son, I threw my back way out. And so I'm been very careful this time around to try to avoid that. But then we have this little dragon down here. We've got our habits and zone, and April is my husband's birthday, so we had a little journaling. And then was also our anniversary, but now it has changed officially last year because we got married in October. So April was our anniversary and now it is not. And then the classic 8-box weekly with reflection space at the end of each week. Here, again, my son got into my journal. And then my reflection space. I love the little swirly decoraty bits. And this one, it just made me happy. Then we had a Christmas card here from my sister. A level 10 life check-in, because I try to do those quarterly. Or well, I was trying. I'm not doing the level 10 life this year. And then we have May. May was a fun one to do. It was a blueberries theme. And I had so many different blues, as you can see. I love the idea of this lettering. I wish it turned out better, but that's okay. A big 2-box calendar again. And then I have a little Willy Wonka quote. It happens all the time. They all become blueberries. And I tried to make this little hat on this guy look like a blueberry. That was really fun. We have our posting schedule stuff. Another Rate My Day. This one is identical. Oh, no, dream tracker. So whether or not I had a good dream or a bad dream. Because I was having really weird dreams at this point. But this is identical pretty much to the last month. Then we have our food log. So we have the menu plan and then the log and then my calories. As you can tell, didn't do great on that. And then the continuation of the 75 soft challenge here. And then my little review of the 75 soft challenge because that finished in this section here. Then we have the mermaid challenge, which is an art challenge where you draw a mermaid every day for the month of May. I was also trying to do mermaids on Sims a couple times this month as well. Didn't happen. Happened once. None of the others happened. Then we have our habit trackers with, again, a doodle from my son. And then my zone goals. My health tracker. So my headaches, my physical therapy. I was trying to get more into tea. My first attempt at a plank challenge, did not complete it. I was trying to do this glow up challenge as well. Didn't complete that. And then I was having a bit of an issue with a toenail fungus. And so I was having to put this ointment on my toenail. And it was gross. And then Mother's Day stuff. And then the 8-box weekly with every other line highlighted. And it is a lot to look at, but I had so much fun with this weekly. I love the colors of the look. I just loved it. Then we move into another page for gift list. Again, another lovely doodle from my son here. Doodles. Tracker that doesn't really need to be discussed. And then it was mostly just because I was on birth control and trying to keep track of when stuff was happening. And yeah, trying to avoid getting pregnant at that point. We had a little thank you card that I got in an order that I really liked, and so I taped it in here. Wedding planning stuff. And alphabet dates. As you can see, we only went on 2. Then we have June, which June ended up being my yearly theme for 2025. And it was this Purple Dream Catchers theme. I love the lettering I did here. I wish I had done this for my 2025 theme. Because the lettering I did, where I love the lettering that I did, it just was a lot of work. And this would have been a lot simpler. It would have saved me a lot of time. But we've got dream catchers. And I don't have a lot of purple. I only had like 2 purple markers. 1. Looks like. Yeah, I only had 1 purple marker at this point. I've gotten a couple more since then. And then big 2-box calendar. My posting schedule stuff. My challenge, which was a declutter challenge. And I had a little dream catcher here, like that dream catcher. And I made that page, that challenge page twice. And used a different dream catcher and a different thing here. And I don't know why I did that, but I did. Then we have our menu tracker. So I have my menu log and then breakfast, lunch, dinner. As you can see, I did not do great at tracking what I was eating. And then I did not track at all my calories for the month, the entire month. Health tracker. This is pretty much the same, but besides we got a coffee maker here. And so I was drinking a lot of coffee. Yeah, I'm still drinking a lot of coffee. Then we have my habits and zone goal. And then we have this horizontal style weekly, and it's got a Dutch door situation here so that I didn't have to draw as many dream cutters. So, and then for the reflection space, I highlighted every other weekly. I was trying to do a reflection each week. So I would highlight, and I think I was doing, yeah, I think I did 2 weeks, and then I would do the other page, and then 2 weeks. And that was really fun. I liked that. Another lovely doodle from my son. And then we had family traditions I wanted to try to start. We have done some of them. Not all of them. And then another level 10 life check-in. The wedding invite to my sister's wedding, which the colors just turned out beautiful for that. Then we have account information stuff. And then money I owe my father, because he stopped taking money from me from my phone. But I'm keeping track of it in case he holds me on it at some point later. So I'm keeping track of it. Password stuff, which actually I don't think is accurate at all anymore, so that's fine. Theme ideas, and this goes from October to March. As you can see, I didn't end up writing these 2 stuff in here. I just wrote what I was going to end up doing. 2025 page idea, 2025 things idea. My Silas's education pages, which we're actually not doing it this way anymore. My theme rankings for 2024. And then fixed Twitch schedule, which still did not end up happening all the way. That's okay. More wedding planning stuff. Silas's money egg, which that is because I'm trying to save up money for my kids. Every month we're putting money aside for my kids. And I don't have a bank account for my son yet, or my daughter. I don't have a bank account for either one of them. I do need to get my son's birth certificate because I never received it. I requested it through online and stuff, and I never received it. So I'm going to have to go to my town office and get that. But when I had my son, it was still like COVID time and stuff, and my town office wasn't open very much. And my schedule and my husband's schedule at the time just didn't go well for it. More wedding planning stuff. And that goes to the end of this journal. And then we move into this journal. So this journal is my very first Archer and Olive. It was on sale, so it was significantly cheaper. It was not the one I wanted. I didn't really want a light journal because I knew it would get all dirty. And so it did, but that's okay. But it is this typewriter one, and I just love it. I love it. And more doodles from my son. I love the Archer and Olive journals. I want more of them. It was my first, and I want more. So this goes from July of 2024 until February of 2025. So we're just going to go through 2024 here. We have got an index here, and I did color coordinate it again. We had the rest of the future log here. Then we have July. July was this cute little macarons theme. Again, love the idea of it, don't love the execution. We had a challenge for the month, which I was doing a relationship challenge with my husband at that point. Then we had the big 2-page calendar, and then I put goals down here. And I loved the lettering I did for this month. I did like a Disney lettering, and then I did like an outline border on it. So then we have our posting stuff, my health stuff, and my zone goals. Do I have, yeah, I have zone written down in the bottom here. Then we have my habits and my menu and my actual log of what I had. Then we put here what I would want my perfect day to be. And that didn't work. But then we have another vertical style weekly here. Vertical, horizontal, or horizontal style weekly. And that is what we did. And then we had a small reflection space. As you can see, the bottoms didn't really get used, which is why I don't really like doing this style anymore all that much. Another doodle from my son. And then my reflection space. And I forgot the O in reflection. Don't know why. Then August was this coffee stain, coffee bean theme. I'm kind of sad that this brown, as it dried out, it looked green. But overall, I had a lot of fun with this one. I love the lettering I did. That was super fun. Then I did the plank challenge here. As you can see, I didn't complete it. Had to restart it a couple times. I was trying to do the 75 medium here, but I got super duper sick. I ended up getting COVID again. And then we have more doodles from my son. The big 2-page calendar. Love it. My goals for the month. My posting schedule. Posting stuff. My healthy habits. And also my like headache tracker and such. My zone, my menu, and my food log. Then we have the weeklies. So I decided to do 6 boxes per page. So we have got 12 boxes total here. And I have a little reflection space. This one didn't get used, but that's okay. But yeah. That's what we did. We did 12 boxes, and then we have a little doodle on this one. Then my end of the month reflection here. More wedding planning stuff. Then September. September was really fun. September was this disco ball theme. The color was gray. And I love this theme. I love this lettering that went with this theme. This is the lettering that I ended up doing for the entirety of my 2025. But then we continued on with the 75 medium challenge. I still kept trying. And then I did daily doodles for this month, and I just made them really small, and I had a lot of fun with them. Then we have this 2-page, big box monthly calendar here. I love it. My posting stuff, my headache versus sleep tracker. If I did not have a headache, I put a black dot at the end of the row here. And if I did, I would put an arrow. It would be a straight arrow for a level 1 to 5 headache, and then 6 to 10, it would be like a squiggly line. And then the grayed out area is when I was sleeping. Then we have zone goal, my line a day, my top priority, which I do want to do this again, having like a top priority list. I want to try doing that again. I think it would be a good idea. I think it would be helpful, especially now that I've got 2 kidditos. Then we have our habits. We have our food log. And then we had our first attempt at like gamifying my life. And I did this artsy arcade is what I called it. But it was to kind of track my artsy habits. So I had my daily doodles, my crocheting blanket, crocheting other things, whenever I would color, whenever I worked on embroidery, whenever I worked in my bullet journal, and then whenever I did some other type of craft, either with my son or by myself. And so I did that. And I really like doing this. I do want to put this kind of back into my bullet journal. I took it out for a while, mostly because during my pregnancy I couldn't do anything. Then we have the 8-box weekly with a little disco ball design there. And we've got a menu here. And again, disco ball menu. And then continues with the weekly. Another beautiful doodle from my son right there. And then a little gnome, a little corner of a disco ball, and then the menu, and then continuing with the weekly. Disco ball chain there. And then just continues. Then we have the reflection. I loved this monthly. It made me happy. And it literally, I love everything. That's the only thing. And then I got this cute little card from a crochet thing that I received. And then well child check for my son. And then October was another one of my themes that I really enjoyed doing. I did this little black cat and moon situation, and I did these cat letters, and I love them. I need to find other reasons to use the cat lettering because I just love it. I love it. I just love it. And they were super simple. I just did like the black kind of like silhouettes of cats, and I loved it. And again, I tried to do the 75 medium. I didn't do great on it. That's okay. And then Inktober. I didn't finish Inktober, which I'm really sad about. I got really close, but I didn't finish it. And Inktober is another one of those monthly drawing challenges. And this one is for October. And this particular one is to just go in with pen and just draw in pen. So I'm kind of sad that I didn't finish it, but that's okay. We have got the big box calendar here, and then we have a little quote down here, and it says, "There is magic in the night when pumpkins glow by moonlight." And I just wanted another reason to write in with the little cat lettering. And we have a little cat there and a cat there. I just love it. Then we have my posting stuff, my headache versus sleep. And we were actually not home for this chunk of time because my apartment got hit by a tree because of a windstorm, and we had to leave my apartment. And so we just kind of packed up all of our stuff and left. Packed up the necessary stuff and left. So I didn't have any of my bullet journaling supplies. And so that you'll see in there. So we have food log, day by day. my habits, my zone goals. As you can see, a lot of stuff got moved over because of the chaos here. And there's like a big section of days here where I didn't color in a mood or didn't put in the little pause. We've got the artsy arcade. Then I tried to put it in for like my physical health stuff. So doing a sleep meditation, doing a different type of meditation, the physical therapy for my back and my pelvic floor, going for a walk, doing yoga, or doing some other activity. And I do love these. I do want to do more of these. And then we went for a Alistair method weekly. So we have a little box for menu. We have a little calendar box here, which I do want to do that again. I liked the idea of this and I do want to do it again. We had events, and then we had the task list. And then the tree hit the apartment. And so like this task list is super short because we came back at like the last couple of days there. And yeah, and this cat was super fun. I like that cat. And then we have my reflection space. Then we have another level 10 life check-in. And then November. So November's theme color was actually white. So as you can see, there is not really any colored elements besides like headers, and those are done in gray. And I did constellations. And so I made little different constellations and stuff. And I just had a lot of fun. And these gnomes. And I decided to do like a pattern inside these boxes here. And my goals. And this lettering was super fun, but super simple. Then we have our posting. And then we have NaNoWriMo. So NaNoWriMo is National Novel Writing Month. So your goal is to write 50,000 words in the month. That did not happen. I wrote 2,000. But again, life was kind of chaotic. And I'm trying to see. I'm trying to look. I have a little heart constellation there. And then we have our challenge for the month, other challenges. So the 75 medium, I was trying to do the plank challenge again. And then I was doing like a grow your creativity challenge. And then my headache versus sleep tracker. I decided to put in constellations that looked like the different letters of our names. And so down here you have an A for my name. Oh, and my son got into my stuff and decided to cut my bullet journal. Yeah. Then we have zone and habits. As you can see, I did very well on my habits here. And we have a J here. And then we had a day by day. So we had a line a day and then a priorities list. We have an N here for my cat, Nix. We have my food log, and we have an S right up here for my son, Silas. Then we have Thanksgiving planning, and then we have a G down here for the last name, Gammon. Then we have our artsy arcade and our physical play. Then we have, again, the Alistair method weeklies here. And that just goes on for the month. Then we have our reflection space. And this is when I took out my birth control at this point, and we were waiting to do the 6 months in between because they told us that it usually takes about 6 months for the next one on to get out of our system. It did not. Then we have wedding plans stuff here, and continued with this seating plan stuff that didn't end up being necessary. We've got December. December was another rainbow theme here because it was the last month of the year, and I did this Christmas lights theme, and oh my gosh, it was so much work, but it was so worth it because I think it turned out so nicely, especially this cover page. I love the cover page. Then we have gift list stuff for other stuff that I needed to do. Then we had the 2-page big box calendar. We had a little quote here by Tom Baker that says, "Some Christmas tree ornaments do more than glitter and glow. They represent a gift of love given a long time ago." Then we had our goals. I just love this theme. And then we have our posting stuff, my challenges stuff. So my 25 days of Christmas, I was trying to post on TikTok for 25 days. And then 12 Christmas movies, my plank challenge, and then my moving of our elf. And then my day by day. So we have grateful for, my top priority, and then whether or not I did it, my headache versus sleep log, and I did it in this style here. So how long I slept, and then my headache, and then my mood. I don't know why I didn't put mood in there too. I think I wanted space to do a little doodle. Then we have zone and habits, and I put another quote in here that says, "May you never be too old to search the skies." And I don't remember who said that one, but then we have our food log and calorie tracker. Then we have our artsy arcade and our physical play, and I love how this one looks. Specifically my physical play. It looks nice. There we go. Then we have our Christmas journaling stuff. And I can't believe he cut my journal. It makes me sad. Then we do the 8-box weekly. We have our menu here and then the boxes. Every day is lined differently here. And then for each of the menu boxes, we had some of the lights just so that I could separate the weeklies better. And it just, I love this theme. I want to do it again at some point. My reflection space, and then we move into the end of the year review here. And it goes into this page and our last little bit of Paisley and the Gnomes. And that is actually it for this particular flip through. Next time we do a flip through of bullet journals, it'll be my 2025 with the purple, gray, and black yearly themes, yearly Dreamcatcher themes. But yeah, I hope you guys found some sort of inspiration in here for you. If not, I hope you had a great time. If you liked the video, please go ahead and like, leave a comment, or subscribe to follow along the journey. And I hope to see you all next time. Take care of yourselves, and bye.